Now, I woke up to this. Apparently, this Tarasa guy is one of my politicians. I didn't know. I found out. I understand from the media he's a very bad man. And he's probably a very bad man because he makes the media look unhinged. So, this guy I actually know. I used to watch him when I was younger. Very intelligent journalist, Cristian Tudor Popescu. And he had an interesting take last night regarding Charlie Kirk. He said Charlie Kirk got exactly what he wanted. That is a public execution in which his daughter also participated. Romanian people are beaming now. Like, as you can see, it's... But this is why in Romania, in order to save our democracy, we need to cancel elections. Because you have people that don't care about politics, maybe don't even know anything about America or Charlie Kirk, but they see this gentleman, an intellectual, and he says stuff like this. You know, this is what he wanted to... And it's also adding, it's like, yes, his daughter participated. So like, you can feel the malice there. You can feel the smug, the snark, you know, that Redditor energy. And so the average person that doesn't know anything about politics, like, the first question that they will ask is, who does this guy vote for? What ideology does he support? Like, which political party is making his worldview come closer to reality? And when they find out, they're like, okay, let's vote the exact opposite. And this is how Putin wins. This is the man of Putin unwillingly. I think, like, in political science, they call him a useful idiot, right? A person serving a cause without knowing. Because I understand, like, Romania had to cancel an election because the Russians were dominating us on TikTok. But I feel that a little bit of that may be because of journalists like this guy, which is saying the most extremist shit imaginable. And normal people are like, holy shit. Like, how can we move away from that? Like, I don't want to associate myself with someone that speaks like that. What can I possibly vote in order to make sure that this guy doesn't get what he wants? And then they vote for Putin. And then we have to cancel elections. So we got politicians in Romania working tirelessly, spending taxpayer money in order to cancel elections. Because journalists like this guy can't have a little bit of civility after a famous person died in the United States of America. But all jokes aside, I want to tackle a little bit the argument, right? Because it sounds interesting. On a surface value, it seems like it's not just like a logical conclusion, right? Like, this guy one night stood in his house wondering how could this happen, and then concluded, it's because Charlie Kirk was supporting guns. But he also adds, it's like, well, it's really nice that his daughter was there to watch, isn't it? Yeah. I think I was 3 years old when I saw my communist dictator shot on live television. And I think that's a good thing, Cristian Tudor Popescu, if you're watching this. Yeah, I do think, actually, seeing condemned criminals getting shot as a kid when I was 3 years old was actually a good thing, because it made me dislike communists. And it made me understand that if you become an evil person to try to dominate others, to take away people's freedoms, and to commit all the atrocities that the communist leader in my country committed, then bad things will happen to you. Like, I got to see the rage of the people towards tyrants. And I don't regret it one bit. And I'm pretty sure that every kid from my generation in my entire country got to see a man getting executed on TV, and that created a generation that dislikes communists. I don't know how personally Cristian Tudor Popescu feels about communists, by the way, but seeing live executions on TV, the communist leader getting shot, is not a moment that I regret for having it in my life. And it wasn't something that I watched because of sadism. It wasn't something that I watched because I enjoyed it. It was a moral lesson that I got in that moment. It's like, okay, the entire people were upset. His wife, which banned abortions, by the way, and caused so much misery, suffering, the AIDS epidemic, the hepatitis epidemic, and all that shit with the underground doctors doing abortions, she got shot as well. So, like, the idea of taking away people's freedom and imposing your will without the consent of the majority, that's what happens. Fine. Okay, this is what Charlie Kirk was talking about. Right? Like, it was in a conversation, and the left keeps bringing it up as if it's the final gotcha, where Charlie Kirk is pointing out that for thousands of years of human history, for the overwhelming amount of time in human history, executions were actually public, right? Like the guillotine in France was public, when Americans used to hang horse thieves was public. Like all the executions we had throughout the majority of human history were public. Only recently, only in the last couple of years of human history, do we make executions behind closed doors because we decided that this is appropriate. But this is not a decision we made, it's a decision that was made before us. And I don't think there's anything wrong with a person coming up and asking, is the new situation okay or not? And just starting a conversation. Because that's what Charlie Kirk wanted to do. He just wanted to talk. And he had his opinions, whether they're right or wrong. But just having the conversation, I do not think, warrants him getting shot. And so the conversation is let's have an audit. Is it better now, or is it how it used to be? Like, for instance, in my opinion, right, like the way it used to be in the public, like hanging horse thieves, it was there to send a moral message. It wasn't just to get rid of the criminal, but it was also to warn society, this is what happens if you try to do it as well. So it was a deterrent. That was the purpose of the death penalty, to deter others from committing the same crime. But if you're doing it behind closed doors, where no one gets to see it, is that a deterrent anymore? This is what Charlie Kirk wanted to ask. And yeah, you know, like when the guillotine came down, and you had like French executions, or when you had horse thieves in America, I'm willing to bet that 14-year-olds were there to watch it. And Charlie Kirk was saying, like, at what age? But here's the difference, though, right? Because, like, it seems that Cristian Tudor Popescu, one of the most brightest and smartest journalists in my country, doesn't seem to notice the difference between a person convicted by a jury of their own peers that gets due process, that actually commits a crime, and then the state decides that, okay, well, we're going to execute after he filed appeals and all of that, with a guy that's just talking at a university and is getting shot. Like, hold on a little bit, right? I don't think that's what he wanted. And yeah, his little girl was there. Yeah, his little girl was running to daddy as he was bleeding out because she was scared by the gunshot. It's very visceral. You can find comments like that on Twitter. And so, the other argument is, well, it's because he was for guns. That means that he deserved it. Well, he was anti-murder, right? And anti-assassination and anti-political violence. Do those things not count? So we're looking at that and we're wondering, why did the gun do such a thing? This is the same mentality that can be used to take away people's cars. Like, I'm just saying, we had a lot of car attacks in Europe, right? Like, you had people that drove a car into a crowd of people. So, obviously that wouldn't happen if you didn't have cars, right? Like, the criminal would physically be unable to do the terrorist attack if he didn't have a car. And so is the solution to ban cars? I mean, we already regulate cars just like we regulate guns, right? Fucking mental. You know, like in America, it's a lot easier to vote than it is to get a gun. It's not like they give guns away like candy over there. But even then, there are more than 350 million guns in the United States. Signing a piece of legislation, signing a paper doesn't magically get them to disappear. If a person is willing to take someone's life, someone that just wanted to talk, I'm pretty sure they're going to be like, well, I want to commit a crime, but goddammit, I'm not allowed to have a gun. Like, it's absolutely mental and insane takes that can only happen because, yes, like, people don't just want to talk. Like, Cristian Tudor Popescu doesn't just want to talk. That's the issue. And so, if you sit in a bubble and you radicalize yourself, you lose your humanity. You watch a guy die in the most visceral way in front of his daughter, and then you go on live television and you have this take. Because there's no more humanity left. It's just like pure ideology. Like you're a walking talk box that's spewing ideological points. I'm ashamed of my journalistic press from my country. Hopefully, not everyone is like this. I do know that a lot of them like censorship recently. Like, they've embraced the concept. I didn't know that they're also interested in situations that are happening in America, such as like the Second Amendment, and that they're glad right-wingers are getting shot because apparently this is what they wanted. It's absolutely insane. Yeah, sure, it's true. He actually did say, like Charlie Kirk did say, that if people die, that's not a good reason to take away the guns. Or he phrased it in some such manner, yeah. And then he was killed. You know what that is? When a person dies for their beliefs, it's called martyrdom. Historically speaking, that doesn't make people believe those things less. Makes them believe more. And I had a conversation with a leftist 2 days ago. Now, when I speak with leftists, I don't do the whole moral posturing and try to say that, well, you're immoral and that's not what you should think. I actually try doing it from a utilitarian point. See if I can change their mind. And so the leftist that I was talking with was glad that it happened because Charlie Kirk had bad opinions, right? Like, according to him, he was manipulating data. He was denying people's right to live. And so, like, well, what do you expect? And it's a good thing. That's what the leftist said, right? And my take was like, do you know that there are people worse than Charlie Kirk? And he said, yeah, but they don't matter because they're not popular. And so I said, okay, well, Charlie Kirk had 1 million subscribers. And now that he is gone, where do you think those people are going to go? It scared him a little bit. I could hear it in his voice because he knows that I'm right. They're not going to go watch Destiny, right? Let me know what you guys think. And as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.